Hey guys, so today I thought I'd go over how to do a rinseless car wash. So I know what you guys are already thinking. I know there's a lot of Porsche fanatics out there that will comment that this will ruin the paint. So I welcome all the hate comments. But me having OCD, I will tell you that this has worked well for me. I've already done this probably about 4 or 5 times, and I will tell you that it did not leave any scratches at all. However, the only caveat is that the car is fairly clean most of the time. I will not do a rinseless car wash if it has mud, dirt everywhere. But I will do a rinseless in between car washes when it hasn't rained for that week. So the product that I use, and I've done a lot of research and seen a lot of YouTube reviews, and I will tell you that this product by far is one of the best. I'll probably watch like 50 YouTube videos on it. I've seen a guy do a review on this and actually a test, and I may leave a link below in the description of the YouTuber who does a very good and thorough job in reviewing, detailing products. And so anyway, use this, and it is economical. It's a pretty large, it's a 1 liter bottle, and I only use maybe 6 to 8 capfuls of this product into this 5-gallon bucket. And always make sure that I use fairly hot to warm water. And the sponge that I use is called Ultra Soft Sponge, or USS. Just do a search for that on Amazon and you'll find it. And I'll also probably leave a link, or actually the product name in more detail. But I've chosen this particular sponge just because it's, just like the name suggests, it's a very soft sponge. There are more harder sponge out there, but again, I only use this in between car washes and when I have like dust, just a thin layer of dust or pollen on the car. So anyway, again, 6 to 8 capfuls of this guy into here. Let the water run, hot water run. Thoroughly mix it, and that's how we get started. All right, just to show you how dirty the car is, what I'm going to do is use this paper towel. Some dirt there. So fairly thin layer, but it is still a little bit dirty. And also it's pollen season here in Texas. So there is a thin layer of pollen that gets on there. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I do is when I squeeze the water out of the sponge, just moderately one side and then the other side. And just I'll always start at the hood. And instead of pushing it down, I'll let the sponge do its work and just push it along. And I always try to go in one direction. And this case going down. And then after about 3 passes, I flip it around and get the other side. And once I do that, soak it in the bucket again and squeeze it while it's in the bucket a few times and let it really soak. And then again, I squeeze this a little bit one side or each side just so that I can get whatever's dirt trapped in there out even more. So again, not putting too much pressure. Just gliding it down. And then the other side again, let the sponge do the work. In the future, what I may do is actually even go further and filter the water, because here in Texas, the water is fairly hard, meaning there's a lot of minerals in it. And so I'm gonna try that and see how that works out as well. Now here I do have some PPF, and so I try to go this way to get any grime off the edge of it. And then with the windshield, I mean, I just go all out. It's not gonna hurt it when I do that anyway, so. And then again, just let it glide. And I always try to go the opposite direction, or where the wind is flowing as you drive the car. Just because if there's any dirt entrapped by going backwards, it may actually pick it up. But again, me just being obsessive about it, about making sure that the car is clean and there's no scratches. All right, let me grab this front fender now. So I love doing, even though I'm in the car, for average guy, if you look at my car, you'll think, why are you washing the car? It's spotless. But for me, this is also extremely therapeutic. So this is one of the reasons why I do it. I'll probably wash the car with soap and a sponge, or not this sponge, but a rag, microfiber rag. Do the traditional way of washing the car probably once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how busy I am. And then in between washes, I'll do this. So again, I try to make an imaginary line. So in this case, I'll probably use this guy, this just right below the door handle, and make sure I don't go below that, because there's a lot of dirt underneath on this side. And when I dump it in the bucket, I also kind of scrub each side with my hand just to make sure I get even more dirt out of it. And this back here, this fender, is the part where I get extra careful, because I think this is the part, the hip, that you see the most in terms of, if it's clean, you can see the lines. I think it's more susceptible to scratches. And so I want to make sure I thoroughly clean this part. And if there is a scratch or swirl mark, this is the part that I think that I should notice the most. So I may do an extra pass on this side. Actually, what I'll do is probably, like I've been doing the last 5 times, after I do this, I'll go over one more pass, but quicker this time, just to make sure I got all the dirt and grime out of it. You know, I wish they made the sponge white actually, so that I can actually see if it's picking up the dirt or not. That would be nice. All right, get this back windshield. So let me know if any of you guys have done or are currently doing rinseless car wash, and what your results has been, what product you use, what strategy you use, and making sure you don't scratch it. Actually, what I'll do now is stop the video and show you how I wash the backside of the car. All right, so here's the backside of the car. Again, what I do is make sure that I stay on the top half, so right above the license plate, make an imaginary line, and just focus on that part. Okay. And also notice that, again, in my previous video, I mentioned I've owned 3 different Caymans, or 2 different ones in my previous life. And I've noticed the swirl marks are mostly in this area, and I suspect that has to do with just the aerodynamics and the turbulence that it creates because the spoiler doing its job. So just something I've noticed. And obviously I want to repeat, if I move the car around so I have some room, repeat it on that side. And actually, when I do it on that side, I will do a POV view, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so let's try the POV view. And see how it goes. Again, starting the hood here, then going down. Flip it around. I'm using literally just the weight of this soaked sponge to glide down, not pressing onto it at all. Letting the sponge do its job. You know, I'm not sure if it's actually capturing between. Maybe it is. Again, I wish it would have been a lighter color, but this is the only color choice that they had. So this is what I was talking about. When it's inside here, I kind of lightly scrub both sides, and then let the dirt fall off of both sides. By the way, I do have an important note. I have this grip guard here, and I do notice that it does capture some dirt. So I'll show you the after of what it looks like when I'm done washing the car. So again, for me, this is extremely therapeutic amongst all the busy times and stress at work, dealing with people. So I use a lot of energy working with people at work. So this just helps me decompress, think about something else, or even not think at all. And, you know, I've been washing cars traditionally, or washing it with a traditional method, just soap, 2-bucket wash. And, you know, I thought, hey, water is very expensive here in Texas because there's barely any rivers here. So we have a reservoir. So why not try this? Plus, it's, you know, it's harmless. Doesn't really scratch your car. And, you know, we test it and see if this Rinseless soap actually does its job or not. And so far, I've found that it does do a good job. Now, I will say I have not tried the other products. I may do that in the future and see how those perform. But for now, I'm going to use up however much I have left in this one. I think I paid like 20 bucks for that 1 liter bottle. And this is my 6th, I think, Rinseless Car Wash. And I still have more than half left inside that bottle. So, you know, it's both convenient, saves on water, on soap, but not that really matters when you look at the grand scheme of things. I mean, you know, this is like a $120,000 car, so I think it also becomes a moot point. But so that's why when I looked at the performance, or when I looked at the YouTube videos of the different types of soaps that's available out there in the market for Rinseless Car Wash, I spent a lot of time making sure that, you know, that cost isn't the only factor. Obviously, performance was my #1 factor. And based on what I've seen, this particular soap performed the best. So again, back here, I got extra careful. You know, I've thought about PPFing the entire car, but knowing my history of ownership, I may end up selling it sooner than I want. By the way, this is the only car, this is my first car I ever PPF'd at all. I've owned several Porsches in the past, and I haven't PPF'd it. And my last couple of cars, I haven't noticed, I mean, there were minor rock chips here and there, but I don't, you know, tailgate cars either. I think that's just dumb. So I think that helps out a lot. So I did forget to, I think I forgot to clean this side. Well, maybe I did a little bit. Yeah, I did, but I want to do it again. So get this side nice and clean. And while I'm here, since I got the other side and the back part of the car, now I'm going to start with the bottom portion of the car. Okay, so I always start with the side door. I try to leave the front and the rear for last, just because the front obviously gets the most damage or debris embedded into the PPF. But here, you get most of the dirt, actually. So again, I'll squeeze, soak the water up. Actually, in this case, I'll scrub it just because I'm working on the lower portion now and there's a lot of, probably a lot of dirt there. And again, let it soak and then let it squeeze just a little bit there on that side and then the other side. Now on this side, I mean, I do put a little bit more pressure just for two reasons. One, this side gets the most damage or the most dirt and potentially rock chips, or not potentially, it does get a lot of rock chips on this side. But the second reason why I put a little bit more pressure is because I'm not too worried about scratching it because it's PPF. So if it's that bad, I can just use a hairdryer and it will self-heal. Well, not really self-heal, but you know what I mean. So put a little bit of pressure there. And then get this bottom part here. And what I usually do is while this is kind of drying in this inside the garage, I mean, part of it will dry up fairly quickly, but I'll go back. I mean, you can already tell it's dry here, but I'll go back and use a detailing solution, spray and wipe all that off. All right, guys, so I've thoroughly cleaned the car. I went probably 2 passes on it. And you can see I've got about half of it left. I'll show you later all the dirt and grime underneath it. But I just want to show you what I use as I'm drying the car. So I leave it as is. It's partially wet, some part of it's dry. But I use this Griot ceramic speed shine along with just a regular microfiber towel. So spray a few times on the towel, spray just once and dry it that way. And then I'll come back with this plush microfiber towel, as it doesn't scratch the car as much, and dry it off completely. So I'll show you how this works. So I use the plusher side, obviously, of the towel. And this is obviously a new towel. What I'll do is kind of quote unquote prime it just a few times. I'll start with the hood here, just once like that. And there's a fine balance, right? There's a fine balance with too much or too little. I know there's a saying of less is more. That's true. I'll probably err more on the less side. But in this case, in this application, this is what I do. A few spray on the towel, one spray on the hood, and then I'll come back with this guy and just finish it off. So I don't know if you can see that, if the camera's picking it up, but it is super shiny. Okay, and you want to make sure that you do get this stuff off, because if you don't, what it'll do is eventually dry up, and you have to take a polisher to remove that little bit of ceramic coating. So again, on the fender here, just one pass. I'll just maybe do, I'll shake this up too, just because of my OCD. Okay. Again, not too much pressure. Just the weight of your arm or your hand. Don't bench press it. And get all the way down here. I mean, you can already see. I don't know if, I hope the camera's picking it up, but it's already shiny. And I didn't even wipe it off. With the headlights too. Now the headlights, obviously I put a lot more pressure on it. Then come back with this guy. And wipe it off. I mean, doesn't it, this is like the most satisfying part, I think, of detailing and washing your car, is when you come back and use something like this, and you know, it just glides on your hand, and then you can see the shine and the gloss. I don't think I can live with a matte car. I know there's like Mercedes and other cars that people wrap their cars with matte paint or matte wrap. Yeah, I don't think I like it too much. All right, so done that part of the hood. I guess I'll go back and I'll actually do the whole entire front clip while I'm here, just because I know I have some overlaps there that I need to take care of so it doesn't dry up. So with using the drying aid, quote unquote drying aid, with a ceramic solution, you definitely want to make sure you get all that off before it completely dries up. And I will say that I've noticed that even though right now, you know, as I'm wiping it off, it looks glossy and shiny, I have noticed that the next day it looks a lot even better. All right, guys, just finish it up and just going to do a walk around. Looks pretty good. I say it took me a total of 2 hours, just taking my time. And I did do about 2 passes with the rinseless wash. And then I went back, and instead of completely drying with a towel, I used the Carrillo Speed Shine as a drying aid, and did an awesome job. So highly recommend doing this if you're wanting to just do a maintenance wash in between major wash. Like I said, I've done this probably 6 times now, and I've had pretty good success with it. So, and I also want to show you, see if you can see the dirt that it may have captured. So, I mean, it wasn't that dirty to begin with, but you can see it's not the water's not like clear either. You can see some opaqueness, and yeah, I don't know if you can see that at the bottom there. It's done a good job of capturing all that dirt. So the good thing about this product is that it encapsulates all the dirt and brings it to the bottom. And having this grit guard also helps pull that down. But yeah, I hope you can see that. Yeah, I think you can see it. So all of that used to be on the car, and now it's at the bottom, and some probably on the sponge. Oh, as far as cleaning the sponge, I mean, obviously I will clean the bucket and clean the grit guard, and then what I'll do is use the grit guard and scrub the sponge against it to try to get all the dirt off of the sponge. And I squeeze it several times. And I do use just a little bit of car wash soap to clean the sponge as well. Squeeze it and just let it dry. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped you guys out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll answer as best as I can. It's not like I have a million subscribers just yet. So more than likely I'll be able to answer your questions. So please feel free to just comment, ask questions. Tell me about your experience too, and what products you used. If you used the product that I've used and had good success with it, or maybe anything else that you've used in the past. But just to recap, I'll use this guy here. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon. And the reason why I got this is because I've seen a test being done on it where this guy from England has done like several different tests with several different products. And the cleaning performance was the best on this one. The pH, as you can see, 4.0, so it's good. And the encapsulation of the dirt, which is very important, is awesome too, as you guys seen in my dirty bucket at the bottom. So hope this helped, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, check this out. Was bringing my other car in and just happened to capture this. Look how clean that looks. The glossiness. Whew. So satisfying. This is why I wash my car every week. Hope you guys could appreciate that, and I'm sure most of you guys can relate. All right, just wanted to show you that before I end this video. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.